Flora, welcome back to my channel. Moon Byul is back with Hertz, and I couldn't be more excited for this. Don't forget, if you want this or any of your other favorite songs to end up on our Fandom Favorites Top 30 chart, make sure you check that in the description box down below. Without further ado, let's get started.
Yeah. Kick it louder.
Okay. Very different from her last few comebacks, but still has that rock element that I think Moon Byul does so well. Ooh. Ooh, nice. Nice. Ooh, I like that doubling. Ooh, I like those hits. Ooh, cool. Really fun. I enjoyed this so much. Moon Byul is so creative when she is coming up with different concepts, but they still fit within her kind of like badass concept. I don't know any other way to like describe it. I feel like she does a really good job at like showing who she is and not holding anything back, which I love. And it doesn't matter like really what kind of genre she does. She always like goes at it full force. I do like how she's kind of been sticking to having rock elements within her music because I feel like it suits her so well. I also love rock, so I'm a little biased on that, but I just feel like it really does suit her voice super well. The introduction was so freaking strong. I think that was a really smart idea to start with something like almost unexpected. Like I wasn't expecting it to go that hard right from the beginning. And then so it was a good change up when we had first one. It kind of dialed back and there was this synthesizer in the background. It was like ding, 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 ding. Like I don't know how else to describe it, but it like was a tinging, like a ting sound. You guys, I'm sure will have heard it, but it happened throughout most of the song, but I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And, pauses were so important in this freaking song. So smart. Just right before the chorus, there was a little pause of the instrumental and it was just Moon Byul's voice, which was really smart, especially because the chorus has so much happening. As far as dynamics go, there's a lot of instrumentation. There's a lot of accents and things like that I think are really important to do that. So having that little pause with just her voice was really, really smart because it creates that tension that we need in music. And then I love how, again, in the chorus, before going into the Hertz part, that repetition, she did a little pause. This time it was more of a silence pause without anything music or vocals, and that really got you ready for the Hertz part. And especially because it repeats, that part is the part that gets stuck in your head really easily because it just goes over and over and over again. In verse 2, I love how getting back into that verse, then she just did her voice again. So again, it kind of separates and prepares you for the next part. The doubling in her voice was really nice too. I noticed that I think she was singing the lower part, and the backing vocal was her singing in the higher part. So I thought that was curious as to why she decided to sing the doubling lower rather than higher, live. I mean, obviously this isn't live, but in general, that was interesting that you could hear that more. So I'm curious as to why they did it, and I liked it. The background, again, in the background, little synthesizers and things started to come up, and they would change in different ways. There was still that kind of tinging sound, like, occasionally throughout the entire song, but there were different, like, I call them like wubba wubbas, like just like different sounds from different synthesizers that were coming in during the second verse, and it continues for the rest of the song. You kind of don't hear it in the first half, but after that, getting to that second verse, that definitely happened. And again, big stop, but this time it was just in the music before we go to the chorus, and then there was some hits like on the drums before the Hertz part, so a different feel. So we're getting these kind of like separation of the parts between each section, which I think is important, but they also do them in different ways. So one time Moon Byul is just doing with her voice, sometimes, stopping with the instrumental, adding these hits. Having those kind of separation things are good because what it does is in our mind, it categorizes them, right? So it makes it easier for us in our brains to kind of wrap itself around it and follow it faster. So that means that, obviously by the end of the song, like the Hertz part, totally easy for me to recognize. Like right away, I knew by the second time that chorus hit, I knew where it was coming. And you have like those feelings of that. And so you can really easily learn a song, which is important in especially pop music when you want something to like stand out and you want it to be memorable. So that was really a smart feel. And then I really love how in the bridge was a little dance break, but it had those, the O part in the background. So it was still, really interesting to have that. Like it was like the perfect bridge, and it was really short too. And I love the feeling before going to that final chorus. And I love the feeling of the MV being basically like sound waves, like through the entire thing. That green color was so important throughout the entire song. And I really love how, there were different parts where like it went and it was shaking, like sound vibrations or like static electricity at one point or things like that. I really enjoyed that aspect. But I'm curious as to what you guys thought about this song. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite part of the song or the MV? I think for me, it has to be the way there were those pauses. I loved how everything got separated. I thought it was really clever and interesting to listen to because of that. And that was my favorite. So don't forget, if you want this song or any other song to end up on our Fandom Favorites Top 30 chart, make sure you check that in the description box down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.